Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. Today we are talking all about goal setting and how to actually achieve your goals. I know a lot. So when I sit down to write some new goals, I think about where do I want to be in the next 6 to 12 months. Some goals are a little bit more long-term, some are a little bit more short-term, so keep in mind what you want to be doing in the long term. Think about your goals at a macro level. What do you want to achieve? Before I made this video, I was doing a little bit of research on goal setting and achieving just to make sure I wasn't leaving anything out because a lot of these are my own personal tips, but I wanted to make sure there wasn't even bigger and better information out there. And one statistic that I came across is you are 42% more likely to reach your goals if you write them down. So once you have set your big goals in your mind, what you want to be doing in the next 6 to 12 months, write them down. This is going to make them seem more doable, and it's kind of just putting it out there and speaking it into existence in the world. Okay, so once you have your big goals written down, try to break them down into 3 or 4 bigger steps that you can make to reach those goals. So within the next 6 to 12 months, what are the bigger things that you need to do in order to achieve these goals? I'm gonna give you guys an example. I'm gonna shorten mine up because this is a goal that I'm working on in a little bit more of the short term, but by May 2020, I want to be rolling out online coaching spots for those who are interested in working with me. So that is one of my big goals, and now that I've written it down on paper, I'm going to ask myself, what are some of the things that I need to do before I can reach this big goal by May? So I'm going to share some examples with you just so this seems a little bit more realistic and you guys can kind of compare, or not compare, but kind of like use this as a guide so you guys have a better idea of what I mean by writing down big steps towards your goals. So for me, that looks like starting an email list, building up some rapport with people who follow me on social media, kind of letting them into the fact that online coaching is coming, how it may benefit them, what other things I can do for them, and direct them to other things along the way so I can kind of build up that clientele before I even start accepting clients. So that's one thing. Another thing that I'm doing is I'm releasing a new workout guide within the next couple weeks. So first of all, be on the lookout for that because it is coming. Check out my Instagram for more updates on that, but that will be rolling out sometime in the month of February. That's another step that I'm taking to get to the point of online coaching. I'm putting out a product out there so people can see that my workout plans are realistic, they're doable, and they're effective. That is me showing everyone that I have some value to bring to you and they may be interested in working with me once I do open online coaching spots. So those are just 2 examples of bigger stepped things that are going to get me towards that goal. And obviously you need to write these down as well because writing them down makes them more realistic and you're speaking them into existence and you're kind of giving yourself a game plan to follow so you can reach that big long-term goal. Okay, so now that you've set your big long-term goal, the next thing to do is tell someone about it. Tell your boyfriend, tell your mom, tell your roommate, tell somebody that you trust and can confide in that these are your goals. Because another thing that I found when I was doing a little bit of research on this topic is you are 72% more likely to reach your goals if you tell somebody else about them. One, because it keeps you accountable. The way that I think about it is if I tell somebody I'm going to do something, what happens when I don't do that? They're not going to think of me as a very honest and trustworthy person because I can't even hold myself accountable to those things. So how could they hold me accountable? That might be kind of like a negative way to look at it, but I really think, at least for me, that is a motivating factor. If I tell somebody I'm going to do something, I want to prove to them that I can do what I said I was going to do. So that's a really good way to motivate yourself. And also, if you tell somebody else, they may be willing to help you and motivate you to get towards where you want to go. Okay, so after you have laid out your big steps, you've written them down, you've told a friend, you've told your mom or your roommate or whoever, now we are going to break it down into more manageable and actionable steps. I was reading a book that talks briefly about goal setting in one of the chapters. The author talks about what she calls micro success factors, and basically what that means is giving yourself tasks every single day that are entirely doable. That's not to say that they might not stress you out or be a little scary or overwhelming, but they are something that you can do in a day. It's not like you wake up one day and you're like, I'm gonna start online coaching by midnight. That's a lot to do in one day. Here's an example of a micro success factor for me. If I want to be doing online coaching by May, something I can do today to get myself one step closer to doing that is writing out an inquiry form. What I mean by that is basically just having a page on my website where you can go on and say, here's my name, here's why I'm interested in working with you, here's this, that, and the other thing, all the information that I will need to then say, okay, I do want to work with you, or I don't feel we would be a good fit, and I'm going to pass you along to somebody else who I feel can help help you better. And the idea behind this is that it's something that you can do in a day. It's very doable and it will get you one step closer to your big long-term goal. So that is what I mean by micro success factors. And something that kind of goes along with this, which is my next tip, is what are some daily habits that you can get into to reach your goal. So I like to think about it this way. What is something that I can do every day that will put me in the mindset to work towards my goal? For me, it is setting up a morning routine. I wake up, drink my water, drink my coffee, read a book that sparks my self-development or provokes some thought in me that gets me really going and motivated and ready for the day. That for you may be journaling or stretching or what have you. It's all dependent on your goals, but think about different daily habits that you can create and follow through on that are doable. For me, a morning routine is something that it is a non-negotiable. It's something that I do every day, and it really just puts me in the mindset to get to work, to do my micro success factors, to work towards my big goals. But that might not be the most optimal thing for you to do in the morning. So just think about your goal. Make these tips personal to you and personal to your goals. What are some habits that you can get in on a daily basis that will help you work towards your goal? That may be reading a book every night before bed. That's really helping you gain the knowledge to reach your goals. Or it may be going to the gym every day. It may be committing to 30 minutes of movement if your goal is weight loss or health benefits. Anything like that. Just think about little things that you can do on a daily basis that will get you closer to your goal. My next tip is find the right environment to reach your goal. So for me, that means getting out of the house and doing things that are on my micro success factor list for the day outside of my house. I like to relax when I'm at home, unplug, recharge. So sitting on the couch and doing my work all day probably isn't the best environment for me to be doing my work, because I might be tempted to turn on the TV or to take a nap or to clean my kitchen or to play with the cat or something like that. So take a step back and ask yourself, where are you most productive? Where do you get the best work done? And then if your goal is not like work oriented, if it's more fitness oriented, think about it. What gym makes you feel comfortable? What time of the day do you like going to the gym? Make it work for you and for your schedule, for your lifestyle. Just figure out what environment is the most optimal environment for you to reach your goals. So if you are doing all of those things, you are so much more likely to reach your goals and not feel so overwhelmed by them. Taking big goals and breaking them down, making them daily doable things is probably the biggest game changer in reaching your goals. If you write these huge goals for yourself, that's great, but if you don't have a plan in place to get you there, it's going to be a lot harder and you're probably going to be a lot more discouraged along the way. So planning ahead, making it doable, setting yourself up for success is the biggest key here. So those are all my tips for you, but I want to give you guys a little quick reminder before I close out this video, and that is, remember that growth does not come from comfort zones. I know that it is so easy to get stuck in the monotonous daily routine that you're in right now, and then you look back in 3 months and you're frustrated because you feel like you've had no personal growth or you haven't really worked towards your goals. So just get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Honestly, that was a really hard thing for me to learn, because I've known for years now that being uncomfortable leads to growth, but I could never get comfortable with the idea of being uncomfortable, if that makes sense. I would just constantly be fighting the uncomfortableness, even though in the end it was really helping me grow. I was just really resistant to the uncomfortability and the change and all of the things that were going on. But now I am so much more comfortable. I embrace the unknown and the uncomfortability, and it's just a lot better for me. I grow a lot quicker. The uncomfortableness passes a lot quicker when I lean into it instead of back away from it and act as if I'm scared. Even if I am scared, if I don't let the uncomfortable know that I am scared, that I am so much quicker to grow and reach my goals. That is all I have for you guys today. I hope that this video was helpful and allowed you to feel a little bit more confident in reaching your goals. If you guys have any other tips, drop them down below. I would love to hear them. Please let me know what you guys think of this video, and I will see you guys next week.